it's not my job to make this easy on anybody. As an artist, it's not my job to make this easy on anybody. It's not my job to make it any more difficult on anybody either, although we do have fun with that sometimes. But as an artist, regardless of the play and regardless of who I'm playing, it's not my job to make Suzan-Lori's story easier on you, because this isn't an easy story. This isn't an easy reality. This is the original sin of this country. And if we're going to talk about it, we have to talk about it. And if we're going to actually talk about it, then we have to deal with actual fact, objective fact. And we have to look at it clearly, concisely, and in all of its horrid glory, you know. And so for me, you know, I think that we went through a process in the rehearsal process. I think, you know, to a certain extent, it started out with this idea of like, you know, I think that on some level there was a need or a want or a desire to soften the edges. And I think that it came from this really beautiful, empathetic place inside of, you know, those of us who are trying to like take that edge off. And what the realization was is that we actually can't afford that, because that's what we've been doing all along, is sanding off the edges and sanding off the edges and sanding off the edges. And by doing that repeatedly, moment after moment after moment, day after day after day after week after month after year after decade after century, you no longer have an edge, and it's just become this polished sheen, you know, and it's almost like it doesn't resemble the reality of what it actually is anymore. So leaving the edges sharp, leaving the edges unpalatable, leaving it raw is precisely what we have to do. And I think that, you know, I have the same reaction to Ralph as you do.
Of course.
You know, but I can't, I don't have the luxury of judging him while I'm out there.
Of course.
You know?
Because I know Ralph, and that's why it was hard to watch.
Me too.
I knew where he was gonna go, but not because it was a predictable plot. It's because I feel like I know Ralph, and I know men in my life who maybe would make the same choices. And that's where it felt really real.